Welcome back, critical thinkers. Today's TEK is G2C. Determine an equation of a line parallel or perpendicular to a given line that passes through a given point. The focus of our video today is determining the equation of a line using a point and a slope. Our learning objective is to determine the equation of a line using a point and a slope, and you will know you have mastered this objective when I give you a slope and just a regular point, and you can tell me the name of that line. Every skill you learn in this video makes you stronger. I know you can do this, so let's turn your practice into your superpower. We must first look at a new formula, and that formula is called the point-slope form of a line. The point-slope form of a line. So this equation is right here. It is y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. And notice the parentheses around x minus x1. Notice the subnumbers 1 and 1 here. And notice m. You should feel very familiar with this m. You should know that m means slope. And this x1 and this y1 go together to form a point. Hence the name point. Right here, we got our point, and here we got our slope, the point-slope form. Let's begin with an example problem. The problem reads, find the equation of a line with a slope of 1/5, and that line goes through point -3, 7. There are two pieces of very important information here. We are given the slope and we are given the point. We will need the point-slope formula in order to calculate the equation of this line. How did I know that? I'm given a point and I'm given a slope. Point-slope formula. So I'm just going to write this data down so I can visually see it without all those words around it. So I know that the point is located at -3, 7, and I know my slope is 1/5. So I come back here and I'm going to assign x1, y1. So this becomes my x1 right here, my -3, and my y1 is 7. So I'm going to grab my point-slope formula, which is up here that we just did. I'm going to grab that, bring that down here. I'm going to rewrite it just so I can remember it. The more times I write it, the more it sticks into my head. So I'm going to write my point-slope form down to be y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to start plugging the pieces of information into the formula. It's called plug and play. So I'm going to plug in my x1, y1. So my y1 is a 7. So I'm going to put my 7 here. Now notice the formula says to subtract. So I'm going to put minus, it's a positive 7, so it's going to be -7. My slope is 1/5, so m becomes 1/5. And now my x1 is a -3. Now remember, the formula says to subtract. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract my -3 from my x. So I come up here to my next step, and what that says is I need to simplify it. So I'm just going to simplify it. I can't simplify the left. I already have y minus 7. So I'm going to take my 1/5, and instead of writing it as x minus a -3, you know that whenever you subtract a negative number, it turns into an addition problem. So it becomes x plus 3. So look, here we've simplified it to be 1/5 times x plus 3. I want to get rid of my denominator. So what I do is I look at are there any denominators? Why, yes, there's a 5. So to get rid of that denominator, I'm going to have to multiply the entire right side by 5 and the entire left side by 5, just to keep that equation equal. Whatever you do to the right, you have to do to the left. Whatever you do to the left, you have to do to the right. So I'm going to multiply the right side by 5, and that's exactly what I did here, and I'm going to multiply the left side by 5. Now notice, I put brackets over here because basically we started with parentheses, and I'm going to expand it out, so brackets come next. And then I'm multiplying all of it times 5. If I multiply this side by 5, I have to multiply all of the other side by 5. Not just the y, but the entire left side. So notice on the right side, focus on this for a second, just this part right here. I have 3 factors. I have 5, I have 1/5, and I have x plus 3. I know if I have something in the numerator and something in the denominator that's the same, I can cancel it out. So the 5's cancel out. All that's left is going to be this x plus 3. It's being multiplied by 1, and 1 times anything is anything, okay? Now, I'm going to come over here, and I need to multiply the left side by my 5. So I'm going to distribute the 5 through the parentheses. I'm going to go 5 times y minus 5 times 7. Now, 5 times y is 5y. 5 times 7 is 35, and I'm subtracting it. So I get 5y minus 35 is equal to x plus 3. That's my next step. If you need to pause and let this sink in, just pause and look at it. Go through those steps in your own head. See if you can say what I just said, justifying how we moved from the formula to the first step, then to the second, then to the third, and now to the fourth. You should be able to tell me what has happened and why we did it. I am now going to scroll up, and we're going to look at the rest of the problem. So I have my 5y minus 35 is equal to x plus 3. Well, I'm going to get my y's by themselves. I'm going to isolate my 5y's. So I say, what's happening to my 5y's? Well, we're subtracting 35. So I'm going to get rid of this minus 35. How do you do that? What's the opposite of subtracting 35? Adding 35. So I'm going to add 35 to the left. But what do we have to do? If we add 35 to the left side, what do we have to do? We have to add 35 to the right side. We have to keep the equation balanced. And so the cool thing is over here, because we subtracted and then added, these two things cross out. The only thing that remains is this 5y. And that's what we wanted. That's what we hoped for. But look over here. We need to combine like terms. So I have one x right here, but I have numbers that I could add together. 3 plus 35. That gives me 38. So I've simplified it one step further. Look, I have 5y equals x plus 38. We're almost done. Almost done. We're not looking for 5y. We want to know what y is. So I have to get rid of this 5. How do I get rid of it? Well, what's happening to 5? Well, we're multiplying y times 5. What's the opposite of multiplying times 5? You're right. It's dividing by 5 because the opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide my left side by 5. But if I divide my left side by 5, what do I have to do to the right? I'm going to divide my right side by 5. So that's my next step right here. Then notice, you can tell what's different because I did it in the dark blue color right here. So I divide my left side by 5. I divide my right side by 5. What happens to these 5's? Of course, those 5's cancel out. What remains? I get my y. But look, what we want to do is we want to take this and we're going to break it up. We're going to take this denominator and put it over each or under each one of these terms. So instead of it being x plus 38 over 5, I'm going to take and I'm going to say it's going to be x over 5 plus 38. over 5. And that's my next step here. What we want to do next, though, is we want to take this x plus 5 and we're going to change it just a little bit. This x plus 5, x over 5, excuse me, is equal to 1 times x over 5. And we know that we can take this and write it as a 1/5 x. So notice how we get from x over 5 to 1/5 x. And that's how we move from here to here to get this expression of our equation. All I did to get to this expression of the equation was I divided 1 by 5, and that gives me 0.2. I divided 38 by 5, and it gives me 7.6. So these two equations are equivalent expressions. This is the name of the line that goes through point -37 and has a slope of 1/5. Either of these will work. This is our final answer, or these are our final answers. Now it is your turn to take the lead. Let's see how you can apply what we just learned. The instructions read, find the equation of a line with the slope of a -3/4 and goes through the point 2, -5. What you're going to do is you need to pull down our new formula. Y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. Our slope is here. This is our point, x1, y1. You plug them into the formula, and what you want to end up with is something that looks like y equals mx plus b. Good luck, guys. Remember to show your work in your notebooks, and please be sure to box in your final answers. Your written work should be clearly showing how you're thinking so that I can follow your logic step by step. Now, if you have any questions or issues, please ask for help. You may check your answers on the next slide. Now, please pause the video and complete your work. When you are finished, press play to continue. Here is the answer to the problem. Please pause the video and check your answer. When you are finished, press play to continue. Just one thing to notice is that at the end of the problem, I ran out of room, so I just drew this arrow up to continue the problem over here on this side. I boxed in my final answer to be y is equal to a -3/4 x minus 7/2, but I also expressed the answer as a decimal. -3/4 is -0.75, and 7/2 is 3.5. This is it for today's video. If something doesn't make sense, this is your cue to ask questions. You can come to me, you can talk to your shoulder partner or classmates, or even ask AI for a step-by-step explanation. We are all here to help you succeed. You learn best by breaking complex concepts down into smaller, more manageable skills. And this is exactly what we did today. You are turning your practice into your superpower. I believe in you, and I know you can do this. You are working your way towards success. Have a fantastic day.